Well, good morning, Cam.
Hello, Mitch. How are you?
I'm doing well. Got a big show today.
We do.
It's going to be fun.
Yes.
So, but I wanted to talk last time we talked about the possibility of me getting some nanoleaf bulbs.
Yes.
And I sent you some texts and told you about my little journey going through this. So I'm like, hey, I got $50. I'll buy, 3 nanoleaf bulbs. And so I got them, installed them in my office, and moved all my lights. I had Philips Whiz bulbs down here before. Moved them upstairs into the living room. So, and my wife's really appreciating those. So I left them upstairs, and I've got my nanoleaf bulbs down here now. But I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get them to work with the app. And they worked with the app, but they didn't work with all the other stuff I wanted them to work with. Well, come to find out, I needed a thread. What was it? A thread border router is what it's called. So doing a little research, trying to figure out what I can get that would have a thread border router in it. And come to find out, a HomePod Mini has that built in.
Indeed, it does.
And I bought one. And I bought it in orange, which should be no surprise to the audience.
Nope. You can take it hunting with you.
I could.
That way you can stay safe.
Mm-hmm. And so now I have a HomePod Mini to my right. I have a Echo Show to my left. So I'm covered with my assistants down here. I just need a Google device down here now.
Do you really, though?
No, I don't.
Do you?
No, I really didn't need the HomePod outside of the nanoleaf bulbs, but I've been playing with it and I've been enjoying it. So I find that it's a little bit nicer to AirPlay my podcast to that instead of trying to. It's a little bit cumbersome to do that through my Tascam mixing board. I can, but for some reason it ducks everything. Like it has a gate set that I can't find the options for to change, and it's kind of weird. But the HomePod Mini works really well for that. So that's my throw the podcast over there to listen to it in my studio while I'm working on stuff. So
nice.
Good stuff. And I did get the nanoleaf bulbs working with Portal for Mac, but I found something else out. My 27-inch iMac, it won't work with that.
What do you mean?
I'm assuming because it doesn't have thread, or it doesn't have some kind of feature in it that it needs. So the
27-inch iMac won't work with Portal?
Well, the Portal works just fine, but it won't work with my nanoleaf bulbs because it has to work through the thread router. So
you can't control your nanoleaf bulbs from your Mac?
Not from my iMac. I can from my MacBook Air, but I can't.
So in the Home app on your Mac or your iMac, the nanoleaf bulbs don't show up?
That's the thing, is they show up, but when I open Portal, they won't connect to Portal. I can't see them. So I'm assuming that has something to do with the thread router and the capabilities that the iMac has.
What version of Mac OS? Sorry, we're going on a tangent here because I want to understand why this doesn't work for you. Because it might just be Portal. Because I'm opening Portal on my MacBook Air, and the only lights it's seeing are the Philips Hue ones. It doesn't see my nanoleaf ones. So maybe a Portal issue.
Okay, yeah. If I open Portal, yeah, I'm on Ventura on this one, but it's updated.
Mac OS Ventura. Oh, righty then.
Yeah, and searching for devices, it doesn't come up with any devices. So,
yeah, it only shows my Hue lights.
Yeah, I don't have Hue lights.
Bummer.
Don't have Hue lights. So.
Yeah,
but in Portal on my MacBook Air, I can see them in there.
Really?
Yeah. I don't need that open.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, because I had it working. I even was using this screen mirroring feature. So it was the most convoluted setup that I think I've done before to get something to work. But I was playing Fall Guys on my 27-inch iMac, mirroring that screen to my MacBook Air, so that it was the Nanoleaf app was reading the MacBook Air screen to change all the lights in the studio. Although I had to turn it off when I got to the point where I felt like I was going to have a seizure, but it's kind of crazy. But yeah, if I open up Portal right now,
Your Portal does see your on your MacBook. It sees your.
it sees them. It's doing something right now.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to look into this a little more when we're not recording a podcast.
Right.
Not...
But it was working just fine for me here. Although it's got this funky thing where it keeps changing the background on my Mac, because it really doesn't like the dynamic backgrounds, like the aerial backgrounds that are new to macOS Sonoma.
Yeah.
So I got to keep changing the wallpaper back to the one that I had selected. And Portal's trying to make me pay for it now, so you can go away. I have to look into that later to look at that. So anyway, but we've got bigger, better things to do today.
Indeed.
Yes. So there is a Apple event coming up this coming Tuesday, the 12th. We're currently recording on the 9th. Yes. And we are going to do our Predicties episode for the September event today. So we should probably have some fun with this, right?
At least a little bit.
All right, let's get into it. All right. So for those of you who might not have listened to any of our Predicties shows in the past, this is basically how it works. We have, does it end up being 10 rounds or 11 rounds of picks?
11.
Yeah, so it ends up being 11 rounds of picks. We categorize these to be we're pretty sure are going to be at the event. So we have iPhone picks, we've got Apple Watch picks. Then we have, and that's 3 of each of those. Then we have 3 wild card picks. We've got our Buck wild card pick, which is going to be, something stagecrafty, something a little nuts, something crazy, just something that's not for sure.
That if we get right, we look like geniuses, and if we get wrong, everyone will go, yeah, that was a stupid pick.
This can be the fun pick where you watch the show and you're like, okay, now, oh no, that's not it. Oh, there it is. And it's just something stupid that we have fun with. So,
indeed.
We also will throw in, and this is the 11th pick, is one of our annual Predicties picks. So we do our annual Predicties at the beginning of each year as to stuff that we want to see happen in the calendar year. And so we have those on standby here because each one of us will select one of those picks to add to the score for this event. So does that make sense?
It makes sense to me, but I've been doing this for a while, so
okay,
let's roll with it.
Yep, we score every pick 1 point. There are no points subtracted, although depending on how dumb the pick is, maybe we should. But
no.
But we will probably not be subtracting any points. So, all right. So we should probably flip a coin, eh?
Yes.
And I do not have my Dice by PCalc app handy. Do you have a coin on your end? I always flip the coin.
No, but I have an SD card I could flip.
You know what? That probably works and it's probably on brand for our show. So
yeah. So the side that has the SanDisk Ultra will be heads, and the side that is blank will be tails.
All right. I'm going to select tails.
It is tails.
All right. So I will start. We typically do this snake draft style. So I will make a pick. You will make 2 picks, and then I will make 2 picks. You'll make 2 picks, and so on until we get to the 11th round. So that work?
Yep.
I think the reason like I like to do it this way, it can be confusing while we're doing it, but the reason I like doing it this way is I think it makes it more fair. Otherwise, I would get all the first picks in each round, and that would give me overwhelming advantage. Whereas this takes some of the advantage away from the person that starts. So I have a little bit of advantage because I get to steal the first pick. So, all right. Well, I think we need to get this one out of the way because I'm sure we both have this on our list of things. At least one iPhone will have USB-C charging.
All right. So timeout.
Yeah.
That's your annual predictee. Is that then what are you not using that as your annual predictee?
I am not using that as my annual predictee.
Okay. So I guess I know what your annual predictee is going to be then.
I'm not sure I remember which one it's going to be.
All right. At least one iPhone will have USB-C charging. I think this is where we're going to have to get into some.
Yeah, I should probably have saved that, but anyway, I'm throwing that in first because I gotta steal that away from you.
All right. Well, so I have all of my picks for the listeners here, just for a bit of showmanship. I have all of my picks in our joint show doc, but I have the backgrounds matching the color text so that they just look like black boxes, so I can have a little bit of a, I don't know, flair when I reveal my picks to Mitch. So my first pick, and I'm going to change this. I'm going to say all iPhone 15s will have a USB-C port.
That's gutsy.
Because I don't want to think of a new pick. So I'm just going to modify the one that I had.
All right. So
all iPhone 15s will have a USB-C port.
So we if I get my point, well, if you get your point, I get my point for sure.
Right.
But
yes, this is the.
But I can get my point without you getting your point.
This is the all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares pick right here. Yes. If you get your pick, I might not get mine. If I get mine, you certainly get yours.
Well, I will allow it.
All right.
You want to make
what a benevolent predictator you are, Mitch.
Yeah. I will. Why don't you go ahead and make your round 2 pick?
All right. I don't remember because I did these last night at 1 a.m. Let's see what it is. Ooh, all right. So an improved aperture for one of the cameras on the iPhone 15, meaning the wide angle or the telephoto. I mean, by improved, I even put this in parentheses, I mean lower number. So if it was 1.8, it's going to be 1.6. If it was 2.8, it's going to be 2.0. So a lower number aperture, which means greater depth of field, more light coming into the sensor, all that beautiful out of focus bokeh goodness for one of the cameras.
Okay.
And rumors are is that it's not going to be the wide angle. The wide angle is going to stay the same. It's going to be, either the standard or the telephoto, depending on the model. But I'm leaving myself a little bit of leeway there.
Okay.
And as the camera guy on the show, I feel like I have to make that pick.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. All right. Now I'm going to, for my round 2 pick, the iPhone camera will be announced with a 6 times or more optical zoom.
Ooh. We're both on trend here, right? The camera picks.
Well, I think the camera is going to be the story. Let me change the wordage on this. At least one iPhone camera will be announced. So let's go with at least one. Because I think this could just be on the Pro Max. All right.
And so are you thinking this is tied to that whole periscope camera rumor?
Yeah, but I didn't want to necessarily use the periscope name because
I know.
A lot of podcasts this last week have talked about the idea that they may not even use the word periscope, but they'll brand it somehow. And they might brand it as like super zoom or, I don't think they'll do ultra zoom, but
Ultra max.
But
action button camera zoom to the moon.
Yeah. So, or
Pro.
there was some interesting ideas about this. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know if you've listened to Connected this last week or anything like that.
Hubble telescope mode. Look, there's Alpha Centauri.
Yeah, so, all right. And then I start the third round. So I will, let's see. I am going to go with Well, I'm just going to go with the third one I have on my list. I've got three more that are really good, and we can talk about them after we're done with the picks. But I like all three of these picks. So, but I'll just go with the next one on my list, which is the Pro iPhones will have a titanium component. So the rumor is that they will be replacing the stainless steel band around the outside of the phones with a titanium band. So, all right, your turn,
I have
sir.
That song by David Guetta stuck in my head. I am titanium.
It's almost like you've listened to the podcast episodes from this last week, because that came up on Upgrade and on
Well,
Connected.
It was a incredibly popular song, and it is very catchy.
I can't remember if they actually ended up picking it, but one of the guys on Connected I think it was even for one of the Rickies, that song was going to play at one point.
Those words almost came out of my mouth, and I have not listened to Connected in 2 months. Not because I don't love the show, but because I'm hooked on these Star Wars audiobooks, Mitch, and I only have so much time to listen to stuff.
All right.
So I'm glad that, smart, handsome men think alike.
All right.
When it comes to Apple stuff.
Your third round pick, sir.
Pro models will have faster USB or Thunderbolt transfer speeds. And I'm talking about the Pro models of the iPhone.
Okay.
So this is me doubling down on all iPhones having the USB-C port, but that the Pro models will have a upgraded USB-C connection that will allow for faster transfer speeds because they are the Pro phones. So, and we'll note that the key phrase there is "or." So,
well, the thought is that at least the Pro Max, if not both Pro phones, will have Thunderbolt ports, but will come with USB-C charging cables. But they won't come with the cable because the cables are expensive.
Thunderbolt, yeah. So, there we have it, folks.
All right, so those are your iPhone picks. Our iPhone picks. Let's get into the Apple Watch, and you lead in round 4. So, what is your first Apple Watch pick?
Oh, let's find out. This round brought to you by Coffee. Thank you, Coffee, for sponsoring this podcast and many, many others.
Amen. We can sip to that. And
Indeed.
when there's coffee in my mug, hold on. I filled my carafe to the brim today because I needed it. So,
all right, I'm starting out with a pretty low pick here, Mitch. It's gonna be a new chipset for Series 9, and here's what I mean by chipset. I don't just mean the new processor, because that's a given, and I don't think anyone should be able to pick that.
You're talking about the SoC.
I'm talking about the S, whatever they're going to call it, but also the U chip. So like the two chips that make it unique.
So you're looking for a S9 and a U2.
If that's I'm looking for both of those. So the whole chipset to get upgraded, which has not happened in a couple of years. So,
yeah, and that's the rumor this year, is that there'll be an S9 and a U2 chip in the.
Does that mean Bono's going to come back? the
Yeah,
ET Touch,
I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen.
and we're all going to get another album on our. And they're going to put it on. They're going to put the new U2 album on the Apple Watch. Then you can't get it.
You can't get rid
you
of
can
it.
only listen to it on your new Series 9 watch.
But you'll have to have. There'll be a support article about how to remove it.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful! Please do it.
All right, so my first pick in this round.
Or wait, sorry, hold on. Like they take that super weird, like Picasso-esque face watch, the watch face that has like the face where the nose like turns, but it's Bono's face instead. It's the default watch face.
It's the U2 edition.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Black with red ring around
red.
it.
Yeah,
let's not do that.
Oh my gosh, yes. I
please,
need this.
please,
Cook,
Apple,
make it happen.
No more U2. All right, my pick in this would be round 4. Our first Apple Watch round is no new sensors, but Apple will upgrade at least one of the current sensors. Again, there are rumors that they're looking to upgrade the heart monitor, but there's no, like, I'm leaving it a little open to be, any or all of the sensors that they currently have.
All right, we shall see. It's your pick again, sir.
Well, I'm thinking about the pick really is about they're upgrading the sensors, but I didn't want to leave the door open to say, oh, they added a new sensor, and that's what I meant. I wanted to make sure that pick was clear, so that's why I led with no new sensors.
So if a new sensor does show up,
if there's a new sensor, they add something like a, I don't know, and I'm thinking health sensors here.
A carbon monoxide sensor that wakes you up.
Yeah, if they had something like that in there, there's nothing rumored. But if they had something like that in there, then I would lose the pick. So,
right. For the record, I just had that carbon monoxide idea, and I think that's pretty clever.
It's not a bad idea, but
no, it's not. Wake you up, man. Get out of the house.
That's something that's better in the house as a separate thing. So, or
yeah, because if your watch is the one telling you, it's probably too late at that point.
Yeah, I think so. But what's been rumored is blood sugar or blood glucose. They're still working on that. There's been some breakthroughs actually on this last year. So I mean, it's getting to be more and more possible for them to do that. They could open up the temperature sensor to be able to not just be a women's health thing too. So there's some possibilities around all of that. But anyway, my second pick is that there will be a new Ultra. With the new Ultra watch, there will be a new finish. So what I mean by that is that that right now it's rumored that there's going to be a black titanium finish available. So there'll be 2 different versions, or maybe it'll be the only version. I don't know, but there'll be a new Ultra watch finish. So I probably need to new Ultra watch finish, or should I say color? I'm going to go with color just because I think that's a little bit clearer than finish. New Ultra Watch color.
All right.
It's to you, sir.
This is fun for me because I forgot what I put. So this is like, I'm rediscovering my picks because, like I said, I did it very late last night. All right. We're getting a new type of band, not just a new color, but a brand new type of watch band. And whether that's for the Ultra or the series, the regular series watches, I don't necessarily care, but it is a new type of band, whether that's material or clasp mechanism or what have you. And now I'm remembering another pick that I made for my wild cards, and this one has to be right, or I'm going to be 0 for 2. So yeah, that's what I'm going with. Not just a new color, although I guarantee we will get new color bands for the fall. But I'm looking for
Don't get ahead of us. Don't get ahead of us.
And well, it's not one of my picks, so you can have it.
Mm-hmm.
I figure taking the new chipset forbade me from taking another super low hanging fruit one.
Okay.
For the sake of, competition and trying. All right. So new type of band. That is my second pick. My last pick in this round of Apple Watch picks, brought to you again by Coffee. Thank you, Coffee. We love you. Is the Apple Watch Ultra gets updated. What? That's my pick. All right. I feel like I need to be more specific than that. What do you think?
I think that it probably goes along with your first Apple Watch pick. I don't think it disqualifies it, but I think what you're talking about in your first Apple Watch pick with the new chipsets flows into. I mean, they'll treat it like it's a different thing, but
my first pick is a new chipset for the Series 9, which excludes the Ultra.
Yeah.
So
no, it doesn't disqualify your pick, but I think that's what we can plan on is that's what your pick for the Ultra pretty much means.
Well, but if you get the new Ultra Watch color, does that mean that the Ultra Watch is getting updated? Because it is. It's a new version.
Well, it's a foregone conclusion. Well, here's the thing. My pick could be that if the Ultra Watch doesn't get updated but gets a new color, I still get my pick. But if the Ultra Watch gets updated and it gets a new color, I still get my pick. And you
get
a new
color and update?
Not necessarily. I mean,
it's an update to the aesthetics.
Are you talking about just, hey, they talked about the Ultra?
No, not talking about it.
And they have a new thing.
Update means something new, and a new color is something new.
I feel like it should have a hardware update if you're saying that it's got an update.
All right, fine. Then
That's how I understand something being updated.
Well, there we go. I put hardware in there just to make you happy, Mitch. Okay. I just want to make you happy, man.
Well, that's how I would understand it. Is, if you're talking about something being updated, then it has something new in it. Not just looks different. But anyway.
All right.
Well, I'm going to go with some low-hanging fruit here because that's how I win. New band colors. So new watch band colors.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I already had it pasted into the dock, and I hadn't revealed it to you yet. And you're like grokking my pick.
Well, I feel like you do make this pick every time, and you always get it, so I should steal it from you next time.
Yeah, it's your call, man. So, new watch band colors.
Now, are you talking like new as in colors they've never had before, or just a new selection that they've made available?
They will offer a new set of colors. Usually they do a fall series this time of year. So, but they'll offer some new options and colors. It doesn't have to be new colors for, they might have done these colors in the past, but they're new colors for this year.
They just like invent a new color. You're like, guys, that's just purple. No, it's not. It's Ultra Royal Max Pro purple.
You could have just said
with the shade that only the technicians and engineers at Apple could achieve through our stack of software and hardware. We alone have the ability to create this color.
Just feel like you're stretching so far with that.
And not only that, we have the courage and the bravery to stretch into new territory of color. Wide gamut, HDR, color bands for the Apple Watch Ultra, starting at $299.
Anyway, and the next, my next pick is going to be our first pick in the wild card
Come
round.
on, time out. You don't even tell me you can't see that happening at some point. A color that only Apple engineers could bring from the digital
to the
physical.
I feel like they've done that before.
With a 2 nanometer process, we were able to extract the color from the pixel itself. I mean, I know I'm being stupid, but let's be honest. It's not that far-fetched.
I can see them doing something with the titanium for the iPhone, that they've come up with a brand new alloy of titanium, that has ceramic.
From the depths of Middle Earth, we went in.
Our metallurgists. That should totally be.
Oh my gosh,
that is not my Buck Wild pick.
We went into the mines of Moria, and we
the word metallurgy is used,
and we have found the Dunium. Like, oh, now we're crossing worlds, guys. Star Wars and Lord of the Rings are two different things. Anyways,
no Dunium.
All right, I'm taking this too far. I thought I started out in a very realistic place, but now I've taken it.
Oh, what's that? What's that metal that's in Avatar? That's just ridiculous.
Unobtainium, the worst name for a thing ever.
Oh,
what a stupid movie.
That's the reason it's stupid. Because
there's plenty of other reasons. It's Pocahontas. Have you Googled the Avatar Pocahontas script?
Mm-mm.
You need to do that. Someone takes the opening script from Pocahontas and just crosses out the Pocahontas names and locations and replaces them with Avatar names and locations. It's the same story. And the main character's name even has the same initials as John Smith. It's like, wow, he didn't even try.
No.
But
anyway, it
was a gajillion. Have you seen the sequel? I haven't.
Yes.
Ways of the Water or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It's all right.
No.
It's 2 hours worth of entertainment.
So. James Cameron's not my favorite, even though
there's plenty of movies out there, and I'm a Transformers fan, so I will throw myself right under the bus here. There's plenty of movies out there where you just shut your brain off and enjoy the movie. Anyway, let's move on to the wild card round, or our wild card picks. This is round number 7. So I am starting the festivities here with no leather cases, but Apple will replace them with a new case material. So Apple is getting rid of leather cases and replacing them with a new case material. The rumor is that they are going to be offering fine woven cases. And I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of story around this, so I'm sure they'll talk about it in the event. But the talk is that they're going to be replacing it because they've actually been using leather cases. They've been using leather, and they're finding that to be problematic. So they're replacing it with something probably synthetic. But vegan leather is a problem too for many reasons that I don't know. But this new woven leather case will be some kind of new thing that they've come up with. And your diatribe earlier about colors could very well be how they introduce the fine woven cases. So,
yes, I have so much that I'm not going to say about that.
All right. Well, my pick is no leather cases, but Apple will replace them with a new case material.
Recycled paper. Bespoke. Yeah. Recycled paper.
Yeah. And this is not like
you can write your name on it.
They're going to offer silicon cases. That's no doubt. Yeah, they're going to offer silicon cases.
I don't they get like any tiny speck of dust or lint in your jeans pocket is just automatically stuck to those cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I always like the leather cases. I don't have a problem with having dead cow in my pocket. But the I think we got a show title. But I don't. But I kind of understand where they're coming from when it comes to, like some of the sensibilities in our culture around animal products. So, and like I said, vegan leather has an issue. They were talking about it on a podcast the other day. I don't remember, but these fine woven leather cases, I think, are going to be really nice cases. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to come out with. And the rumor is they're going to have an orange case.
Well, that's all you needed to say, Mitch.
Yep. I will tell you, if they come out with an orange case, that is the case that I'm going to buy. And I'll probably buy that as soon as it's available to go with my new app or iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max. I haven't decided yet. But because there's a price increase in the possibility. So, but yeah. So, yes. Anyway, is that my first pick or second pick in this? That is my second pick. So it is to you, sir. What is your first wild card pick?
Let's find out. Oh, the IFC. You're wanting orange. You're wanting orange because that's your deal. Yellow's my favorite.
Yep.
So I'm gonna wish upon a star that one of the iPhone 15 models, is gonna come in a shade of yellow.
I think there's a possibility here.
And if that's the case, I'm getting one, and I'm not wearing a case because I'm going to show off the yellowness and majesty and glory of my yellow iPhone.
I do not understand people who don't have cases on their phones.
Either that or I'm going to buy a clear case so that you can still see how glorious and yellow my new phone will be.
I love clear cases. I'm going to tell you, as much as I love them, I hate them because any dust gets in those cases and they're like, it's just, hey, you have a dusty case. It's not a clear case anymore. It's a case of dust. But no. All right. I support that. What's your second pick in the wild card round?
Second pick is Tim Cook is wearing a new Apple Watch or the new band I spoke of earlier during the event.
He's wearing a new Apple Watch or
the new band. So my guess here is that he's wearing the new Apple Watch Ultra that comes in that new color, with or without the new band.
After it's announced, I'm assuming.
Oh no, because last time this happened, he wore it the whole. Or no, he changed watches after it was announced. He came out with the new one on.
Okay.
So I'm relying on a little bit of recent history here, that he's going to do the same thing this time. That he'll come back out at the end with either the new watch or the new band or both, depending.
So we're counting on like the wrap up at the end of the video. He has the new. Okay, we'll be watching for that.
Right. And he does, like, he didn't mention it last time. He just wore it, and it was picked up on by observant folks. So I'm relying on the 24-hour rule here for confirmation that this was actually the case.
Got it.
Unless it's obvious that that's the new Apple Watch Ultra because it's the different color. You know, the darker one that you mentioned. Right. So those are my two of my three wildcard picks, Mitch.
All right. And to start off round 8, or to continue in round 8, with my pick, new AirPods. The new AirPods will be announced with USB-C charging.
Mitch, stealing my picks, dude.
So this is and I'm specific about this. This is not going to be the AirPods Pro. This is not going to be the AirPods Max. This is the regular AirPods.
Oh,
will be announced with USB-C charging. I think it's possible that they might do with the AirPods the same thing that they did with the AirPods Pro 2, where you can charge them with a Apple Watch charger as well. But they're definitely going to change from Lightning to USB-C.
And so you're saying this is just the regular AirPods?
Just regular AirPods. Yep. I don't think we're going to see another announcement for AirPods in this event.
Okay, well, go ahead and paste that in.
I did.
And
Oh,
buckle up, Mitch, because this is about to get wild.
well, wait, no, it's my turn. It's still my turn. You need to wait.
Oh, yeah. All right, carry on. Oh, I was looking at the wrong field. You're right, sir. Fury.
I have two on here that both, I think one of them is likely to happen, and the other one is an anti-pick that I think is also likely to happen. So I'm going to go with the anti-pick that's quite possible, and that is that there will be no new iPads at this event.
Probably right.
There's nothing rumored right now. There was a rumor that I heard a few weeks back that they were planning an October event. I think it's more likely that we might see some MacBooks and some iPads at that event. But it's heavily rumored right now that the iPads Pro won't be coming until 2024. So, possibly with OLED screens and stuff. So, but yeah, so no iPads at this event.
All right. Well, Mitch, I see your AirPods pick, and I raise you AirPods Pro. Get updated.
All right.
We shall see. Technically, we could both be right if they rev both of them.
This is true.
We shall find out.
All right, you ready for some Buck Wild picks?
Hold on, I'm gonna.
You're looking to see what your Buck Wild pick's gonna.
No, I'm gonna do this so it's obvious that I'm the difference between our two picks.
Okay.
Made Pro red.
Got it. All right, lay on me your Buck Wild pick.
My Buck Wild pick. I feel like we need some Buck Wild music.
I don't think I have any Buck Wild music.
We'll work on that at a later date.
Okay.
My Buck Wild pick. This event will last between 65 and 75 minutes.
All right. I like it.
An hour and 5 to an hour and 15, folks.
Mm-hmm.
I did the math for you. I carried the one and everything. You were so welcome. I'm giving myself a 10-minute window for them to get all this in.
So I have 3 picks for my Buck Wild pick.
You went Buck Wild on your Buck Wild picks.
Well, no,
Mitch.
I have 3 picks.
How meta of you.
I have 3 picks on my list. I'm only going to select one.
But I'm saying you went over and above to just.
Well, I did that in case you grokked one of my picks, and I was just spitballing ideas and stuff. I'm going to pick the one.
Speaks Czech.
I'm going to pick the one that is most on brand for me, and will also be the most fun when watching through the event.
Tim
for
Cook
me
wears orange.
One of the presenters will be wearing orange.
I thought you were kidding. Oh, Mitch. I love it. That is a true Buck Wild pick. Because if that happens.
Now we do have to agree on something. Is it an article of clothing that is full on orange, or can it have some orange in it? Because does it have to be like an orange shirt, or can it be a shirt that has a pattern with orange in it, or maybe a dress?
Or does an orange watch band count?
Technically, it could. Yeah, just an article that is orange or contains orange.
If someone has like a dress shirt that's like pinstriped and the tiny itty bitty stripes are like a shade of orange, I would be hard pressed to give that.
Yeah, if there was a logo on a shirt that had a little bit of orange in it,
guy.
Yeah. I mean, I would want to argue for that, but I think you're right that it shouldn't qualify.
But I think orange needs to be the main feature. Let's put it that way.
Well, here's why I ask. So, there are a few of the women that have been doing presentations in the events, And there's usually one that's wearing a dress, and it's usually, can have a busy pattern on it. And if it has like an element in the dress that is orange, I think that should count.
Yeah. And I think, so I think this will be one that we can litigate afterwards, but especially if it's like the orange you like, that orange goes a long way. Right. But if it's like a creamsicle or, like a darker orange, like a burnt umber or whatever, that's a little more subtle. Yeah. But if it's the orange that you like and it's an element of a dress or even like a pocket square or something, like, okay, because that orange carries, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not orange, it's orange.
Yeah. All right.
So
well, that's what we'll agree upon. So all right. I think we go with my annual predictee first here.
Yeah.
Gosh, I did kind of paint myself into a corner here, didn't I?
Ruh-roh.
I'm going to throw this in here. I don't think this is going to happen. Dang it. I could, I have an annual predictee here that says no new iPad Pros in 2023, but I don't think that translates into an event predictee. So I'm going to go with there will be what?
Hold on, time out. I might be saving you here. There's nothing in the bylaws that states that your annual predictees pick at an event has to be event related. It's just the annual predictees pick that you are assuming is either going to happen, not happen, or get verified, right?
If there here's I'm going to argue against myself for a second. If there is if there's no iPad announced at this one, it doesn't mean that they're not going to have an event in a month and announce it, which I would lose the annual predictee anyway. So if I would have worded this, no new AirPods, I'm sorry, no new iPad Pros, then there's a lot of namespace pollution in there. That's too much crossover. But if it was like no new iPad Pros, like I could make the argument.
That pick to this event. Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. All right, all right.
So I'm gonna go with there will be a new product with Ultra branding. Ooh. And what that means is that if the high-end iPad, what we refer to as the Pro Max right now, gets an Ultra name, so it's now the iPhone Ultra instead of the iPhone Pro Max, then I would get this pick. And this was the spirit behind why I picked this initially. Now, the problem that I have with this is that the rumor is right now that they're going to stick with Pro Max this year and add Ultra next year.
Why?
So
why?
Yeah, the Pro Max is such a terrible name, but I don't know if they want to tie it, like if they want like your regular phones and your Pro phones. I really don't understand it because the iPhone 14 Plus was kind of a bust for them. So get rid of that out of the line. It makes so much more sense to me to have the iPhone 15, the iPhone 15 Pro, and then the iPhone 15 Ultra. I think that makes so much more sense. And everything has its own name instead of being a part of a product line. But anyway, that's my annual predictees pick for this event.
All right. Mine, if you're ready,
go ahead.
And this is the last pick of our September iPhone event predictees, folks.
Hit me.
Thanks for hanging out with us. It's been fun.
Oh, we still don't go away. We still got our what's delighting us for this week.
I know. I'm just giving a mid-show thanks to the folks.
Okay. All right.
For being cool.
I was scared.
And one more shout out to Coffee. We love you.
Thank you.
The Dynamic Island is on all new iPhone models, is my annual predictees pick. That slots in perfectly for this event.
And I dodged the opposite pick earlier, so
So here we go, folks. That's it.
That is
how
our...
you feeling about your picks? Instant feedback.
All
how
right.
you feeling?
How am I feeling? I think my iPhone picks are solid. Think my Apple Watch picks are solid. The only ones I think that I'm really kind of wavering on right now are no new iPads at this event. That could happen. And of course my Buckwild pick could go anyway. And the Ultra branding pick. But beyond that, I think if I don't walk away with 8 points, I'm going to be really surprised. At least 8. Maybe I should have made that my Buckwild pick. That would be funny. A nice little meta pick.
Yeah, I obviously, I get why we're both very confident right now.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of those things where we're going to watch the event and look back at our picks and go, well, why did I pick that? That was why was I so confident? Or we're going to watch the event and go, yeah, we both crushed it. And it's going to come down to like one of the picks that's going to, because like I could easily see, like an 8-7 or a 9-8, you know what I mean? Or a 7-7 tie or something like that, where we just barely whiff on one or two picks. Like,
so looking
I know in previous ones, like the WWDC after the draft, I was like, I'm not feeling so hot about this, but I feel much more confident now.
So looking at your picks, I think your pick about the aperture on the iPhone is a little iffy. Like I think
that one's a slam dunk.
Pretty good, but I'm about 80% certain you probably get that one. But it's still like it's close. If they don't announce anything aperture wise, and there's no change in the aperture, then I think that's possible that could happen. I think your Pro models having USB-C Thunderbolt, I think that's pretty solid. Chipset for the Apple Watch. I think all of those are pretty solid. I think you might regret your Tim Cook wearing the Apple Watch, new Apple Watch at the end, or a new band. I think you might regret that one. I don't think you were going to see a new AirPods Pro, but we'll see.
Well, that's what it says on Mac Rumors. The AirPods Pro 2 are expected to be updated to USB-C charging cases.
I just get the feeling, like, I know they did that for the wireless charging.
Why would they upgrade the standard AirPods to USB-C and not the Pro ones? That doesn't make any sense.
They've done stuff like that before. So
I feel like if they're going to do it, they're going to do it to the Pros first and then the AirPods.
I think we're going to be having this conversation in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I guarantee we will. Because that's what we do here, folks. We talk about stuff.
All right. Did you have any picks that you didn't use?
No.
Okay.
I didn't. Luckily, you didn't snipe mine. I had to adjust 2 of them based on what you said to account for your picks, but I did not have to punt, which, considering that it is football season, which we'll talk more about later, hint, hint, wink, wink, I'm glad that I didn't have to audible, which is another football reference. So
I had the dynamic island will stay on the Pro and Pro Max only. I had at least one iPhone will have an action button. And we didn't talk at all about the possibility of an action button on the phone. Apple will not use the iPhone Ultra name this year. I had that on my list. New Ultra band. I did have a pick in here for the S9 chip. That they would name it the S9, but since you picked that they were updating the chipset, I thought that might be a little redundant, so I just left that out. What else did I have in here? I did skip this one. There will be at least one case that will come in a shade of orange. So I did skip that one on there. More info on the Vision Pro. I think they will fill out part of the presentation to maybe talk about maybe a new feature that's coming to the Vision Pro, or just give us. This is a big event for Apple. and I think they really want to pump up the Vision Pro. So I think they're going to talk about the Vision Pro in this event. And
I'm already over it.
Yeah, and we said no new iPads. So my other two Buck Wild picks that I didn't use, we will get a release date for the Vision Pro. And the iPhone 15 Pro will start at $1,099, and the Pro Max will start at $1,199. That just means that they'll go up $100 each.
So much money.
So that's what I didn't pick. But cool. Anything else to say about this event?
Yeah, well, I just realized I did have one pick that I didn't share, and that's that Tim Cook wears suspenders.
Oh, all right. Anyway,
that would be the show title if you didn't say that you didn't mind having dead cow in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay to lose to that one. That's fine.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, I think we should get into what's delighting us this week. So let's kick it off. Well, Cam, it sounds like you're excited about football, so I'm going to let you add it.
Mitch, the season, college and pros, are here. Today is Saturday, September 9th. And merely 2 whole days ago, the Detroit Lions traveled to Kansas City, the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs, and walked away with a 21-20 victory, and it was glorious. It felt so good. Because here's the Lions of past would have done. They would have choked on it and found a way to lose the game at the end. Thrown an interception for a touchdown, fumbled it, given up a 4th and 25 for a first down, which they did not do. It was a 4th and 25, and they did not allow the conversion. It was awesome. We went into Kansas City. We beat the Chiefs. They were resilient. They rallied. They did what they needed to do to win the game. And it felt awesome because no one thought they were going to win, because the Lions are riding the hype train hardcore because they ended the season on a crazy run. But they have carried all of that momentum through the offseason to, they're the only team in the NFL with a win right now, which feels pretty darn good. Now, there are still
a lot of games to be played.
A lot of games to be played. And they were far from perfect. And so were the Chiefs, obviously. But so it's just, I don't know. As someone who's been a Lions fan my entire life, optimism abounds for the first time in a very, very long time. The last time the Lions won a playoff game was 1991. I was in kindergarten. So, we have reason to rejoice in even just being 1-0 and beating a really good football team.
Oh.
And also Michigan college football, which I prefer more than the NFL, ranked number 2, looking pretty darn good. They play University of Nevada, Las Vegas today, and they are 34.5 or 37.5 point favorites in this. I mean, it's so. It's their
hey guys, if you don't want to show up for this one, that would be all right.
Yeah, their non-conference schedule is they're letting some schools make a lot of money, which is, good, but they're not challenging themselves, which, is what it is. But I'm just excited because they've got a really good team this year. And again, at the beginning of the season, optimism abounds and no one's hurt yet. And all that sort of stuff. But one of the reasons I like football, especially college football, is one, it's just fun. And you get to, there's so much turnover in college football that you get to meet new kids and hear their stories and their families and where they're from and how they're, whether they've come out of, poverty or hardship or, they're from IMG Academy and they're the next big thing. You get to see all of these kids just kind of living their dreams. And it's just, I don't know, there's just something cathartic about, and it's the same when grown men win the Super Bowl and cry. It's oh, wow. It's just, it means so much. And one of the reasons I enjoy football, aside from the game and the strategy and the tactics and all this. It's like, you only get a few games a year, right? Like the college football season is 12 regular season games. That's it. You get 12 weeks, and then you have like a conference championship and then, playoff games if your team is lucky enough or good enough to get there. But like, unlike basketball, which is, pro basketball is 82 and, baseball is 160 or something crazy
something
like that.
Yeah.
Like they just an insane amount of games, but like college football, especially you get a handful of games and then your season's over and you have to wait 8 months. If your team is lucky enough to play a bowl game in January or end of December, right? You have to wait all the way till the end of August, beginning of September. So, I don't know. It just always signals to me too, like fall is coming, winter is coming, my favorite times of the year, holidays, birthdays, that sort of stuff. So it signifies to me a time of year that I really, really enjoy, not just because of football. Football is a big part of that, but also bonfires and campouts and, Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas and family time and lots of good food. And it's a really solid couple months of the year. School's back in session, like you just get back in the groove. So football is a big part of that, but it is just a part of what makes, to me, fall and early winter really, really enjoyable. So that's what's delighting me right now.
Cool.
What about you, sir?
Well, first off, I want to comment on what you're saying. When you're talking about the Lions,
mm-hmm.
I was talking with somebody at work the other day, and I said this, and I thought of you. And honestly, if the Lions had an awesome year this year and went in deep into the playoffs and everything, I'd be super stoked for that. Just because I feel like you guys are due.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For me, like if it was anybody else in the NFC North, and those of you who maybe are coming to the show new and haven't heard us talk football before, I'm a huge Packer fan. Grew up in Wisconsin, and we've got a new quarterback this year. Actually, I have two really good quarterbacks. I'm excited to see where things are going to go.
Who's the other one? That's not Jordan Love.
Clifford was the backup during the preseason at least, and he
Sean Clifford.
I think so. Mm-hmm.
I remember him.
He's a really solid.
He played at Penn State.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, it took me a second.
Yep.
Carry on.
But he's really solid backup quarterback. I honestly think that they're probably not going to keep him because he's a pretty valuable quarterback to be sitting behind Jordan Love all season. So I can't imagine that there isn't a team that's going to come through and want to snap him up. So we'll see what happens. But Jordan Love is just really clicking with the team. I think there's a really nice dynamic. And I think we've got a shot at this year, at least having a winning season, if not vying for the playoffs. So, but really when it comes right down to it, I really don't want to see the Bears or the Vikings get in. So we have to team up, the Packers and the Lions, to keep those two yahoos out. So,
mm-hmm.
I think the NFC North every year, and especially now, like any team could break out. And then it's always gone down to the last game of the year. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen this year. And I'm excited that the Lions have a legit shot, this year. So we'll see what happens.
I think the Lions occupy, a very rare spot in sports where everybody would be happy to see them do well. Because, as you said, it's just time. Like they are the Cubs of the NFL. Before 10 years ago, whatever, when they won the 8 years ago when they finally got over the hump, right? And now everyone hates them again. But like they were the lovable losers for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But at least the Cubs would tempt it and make the playoffs and get to the the NLCS and then choke. The Lions can't even do that. Like I said, they haven't won a playoff game since '91. But I the sentiment I've heard from so many people that are Bears fans or Packers fans or Giants fans or fans of teams that have no reason to give a crap about what happened to Detroit are it would be like the feel good story. Like finally, they finally aren't a joke anymore.
Right.
And you know, who knows? Like maybe our quarterback gets hurt in the third week, and you know, it is what it is. But like to your point, I think most folks would like to see them do well because, gosh, what a refreshing thing that would be.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. So anyway, I just wanted to comment on that because it's how I feel. I think it'd be really cool. So I'd be happy for you guys. Anyway, what's delighting me, the other day I got an email from Isotope that they were adding. Now I subscribe to their music production bundle, and they added, basically they updated Nectar and Ozone. Okay. And Ozone I haven't used hardly at all. It's basically for finishing like your last step before you release music online. So it's really like your last mastering step for music. So I haven't really used it a whole lot, and I might try it because there's a few features in there that seem intriguing. But I use Nectar all the time. Nectar I use it a lot for compression, for de-essing, for when I edit this podcast, I usually run it through Nectar, and I'll run both of our audio tracks through Nectar just to kind of clean up a little bit how we sound, put a little bit EQ on it, make round out our voices a little bit better, and just give it that little extra like professional touch. And usually nothing super out of control. It's just, kind of just making it sound just a little bit better. And their update to Nectar really, really surprised me, because one thing that Isotope is really leaning into is using, they're calling it AI. I think we understand it to be machine learning, to look at the vocals, be able to tell like dynamically where the changes need to be made. I've been using this in RX10 for a while, where we at our church, when I take care of the sermon podcast, I'll run it through RX10 to do some repair on it, because we have background noise, we have it has a de-esser built in, a declipper, a de-reverb, just to kind of clean up the audio and make it sound good. And they have the AI assistant in that, and that it's been pretty good. You just click the little learn button as the audio's playing, and it listens to the audio, figures out what needs to be fixed, and fixes it. And it sounds pretty good. So playing with Nectar a little bit, Nectar 4 is the update. It has some really, really neat features for using not only the AI stuff, but it also has auto leveling now. So what auto leveling is, and a lot of people, I use this for our podcast, but it's not called that. It's like match volume. That's not what we're talking about. So it's not me throwing my voice and Cam's voice into auto level our audio. What this is it's an advanced dynamic compression. So what compression does for audio is it brings down the high volume and brings up the low volume, and tries to make it so that there's less trying to think of the word. It's almost like when you listen to, or when you watch a movie and it like gets really quiet and then it gets really loud and then it gets really quiet. What it's doing,
dynamics.
Yeah. So there's features in a lot of TVs for leveling that audio out, or audio, that's kind of a type of compression. So what Nectar does with its compression is it will bring up the low end. It'll bring down the high end of the amplitude, or the volume, and we'll level it out a little bit more. So if I back off from the mic a little bit, or make adjustments, and you lose my voice a little bit, it'll actually bring that volume up a little. But if I yell into the mic, it'll bring that volume down. But what auto leveling does is it does that dynamically throughout the track. So it doesn't just
Oh, it doesn't
is
set a hard
it's not
top
like
and
a
bottom.
one setting through the whole track. It actually goes through the track and says, okay, this part of the track needs this and this part of the track needs that, and it makes those adjustments throughout the track to auto level the audio. So so I really like this, and was playing around with it a little bit. Nectar also has some really cool features. Nectar is designed for enhancing vocal tracks for music. That's what it's designed for. But a lot of podcasters use it for what I use it for compression, for the EQ and different things like that. But they have some really cool features in here for if you're mixing music. Hold on. I told you that my cat was going to hang out in the studio before we recorded, and he just decided that he needed to rub his face on my microphone. So, but Nectar's got some really cool features in here, and I'm not going to give you like an exhaustive, idea of what this new, what the new Nectar offers. You can go to iZotope.com and take a look at this. But one thing that I thought was pretty crazy is that if you don't have any real defined backup vocals in your music, Nectar will create them for you. There is 8 voices that you can choose from, and it uses AI or machine learning to add backup vocals into your music. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But
right, well,
I almost want to play with that in a podcast.
I was gonna say I might
see what
have
happens.
to go kill an hour or two at that.
But maybe I'll put something into the podcast right now to demonstrate that. But
please,
it looks interesting.
Mitch and the Mitchettes, I need it. Yes, yes, yes.
So
thank you for indulging me.
You betcha. But anyway, so I'm really excited about a lot of this stuff. I haven't used it a ton yet, so I may find myself talking about it in a future episode if there's some more that I come along that just is really cool. But number one, iZotope makes some of the best audio plugins on the internet. They know it, so they charge for it. So, they're not cheap. But I think the music production suite that they offer for $20 a month is a reasonable amount of money to spend on something like this. And if you use it a lot, it's really good at what it does. Right now, I'm running it on Apple Silicon and on an Intel iMac. So they both run great. The only thing that I ran into that's a problem is the RX10 audio editor doesn't seem to want to work on Apple Silicon. So be warned of that. But the plugins all work great. I use all the plugins in Adobe Audition, and they work really solid. The only thing I noticed is that like a Nectar 4 used to have like you just click Nectar Pro, which was the one I was using for a while, and it would bring up all the tools in one window. Now you have to stack them in the effects rack in Adobe Audition individually. But if you know what you're doing, that's not super difficult to do. So yeah, check it out, iZotope.com. The music production suite got a huge update this last week. So cool. All right. Well, we've got an exciting event coming up next Tuesday as we record, and we'll see what happens, and then we'll be back in a couple of weeks to score our predicties and see who's going to win this one. So
he just pointed at himself, folks.
I did. This guy right here.
It's a bit of hubris, and we all know what happens when that occurs.
Yep, it's not pride. I'm a very humble man. I'm the most humble man in the world. I'm more humble than all y'all.
Oh boy.
So humble that I wrote a book about it. The 10 most humble men in the world and how I trained the other 9. I'm sorry. There's an old pastor friend of mine that used to use that joke.
Gosh,
That's pretty funny.
that's too funny.
Well, cool. Well, if you guys want to check out more about us or, subscribe to the podcast or whatever, check out innerdialogue.show. And we do have a feedback form there, so you can type in some feedback and let us know what you think. And if you've got questions or comments or we got something wrong, let us know, and we can put that in our feedback for the next episode, and we'll discuss it a little bit. If you think we're a couple of yahoos, keep your comments to yourself. And we'll see you guys back here in a couple of weeks. So, Cam, where can people find more about you?
CamBrennan.com, I guess is the way to go.
Yeah, it's all right. And you've got a photography business that you're running, and where can people find more information about that?
BrennanMedia.co.
So if you are in the central Illinois, north central Illinois, or in the Chicago
Chicagoland
area, give this guy a little bit of business, help him out. So,
thanks.
All right, and you can find out more about me and the things that I do at mitchcraig.online. So, cool. Well, we will look forward to seeing you guys back here in a couple of weeks, and don't spoil me on Tuesday because I've got to work, so I'll be paying as much attention as I can, but I probably won't be able to see the event until I get done with work, so, or the next morning for that matter. So we'll talk about that next time. I'm excited. It's a upgrade year, so. All right. Well, we'll see you guys back here next time. Cam, it's been fun.
Farewell.